AEW has boasted some truly brilliant title runs over the years, with Kenny Omega's belt collector reign, Cody Rhodes' first TNT run, Orange Cassidy's time on top of the international mountain, and many more showing what the company can achieve at its best. Not all reigns can be great though. In fact, some have been utterly crap and have done damage that the company is still trying to recover from. So I'm Gareth, this is What Culture Wrestling, and here are the 10 worst title reigns in AEW history. Number 10, The Elite, September 4th, 2022 to September 7th, 2022. More on the other belt that was severely damaged by everything that happened on the night of All Out 2022 later. But AEW's brand new Trios Championships being won, then immediately vacated, did little help to a division that already felt like it was being formally launched a year or two late. The Elite were great winners of a great tournament, and would prove that again in a captivating best-of-7 series with Death Triangle when they returned to television from their suspension. But the belts being drenched in controversy from the off left a stain that hasn't really been washed away during the coldest period in AEW history. Trios matches required their constant presence and attention to sell the idea that this was where the best wrestled, long before the company forced it through as a catchphrase. They had been pulled into the whirlwind of chaos stirred up by CM Punk's words in the All Out 2022 press scrum. The belts came with them, and it understandably felt like forever before the performers and the prizes were back to their best. There have been some properly great matches fought over those straps though, right? So I want to know right now, what is your favourite in all of AEW history? That's right, your favourite Trios World Championship match in AEW history. Pop it in the comments. Number 9, Jack Perry, June 30th, 2024 to November 23rd, 2024. There's nothing wrong in a noble failure of a push in pro wrestling, and that's what Jack Perry's 2024 will ultimately go down as, folks. He was given major wins, major matches, and for better and worse, one of the major moments of the year. Yep, let's talk about it. Taking out Tony Khan to reveal the full formation of a new Elite alongside the Young Bucks and Kazuchika Okada was supposed to be a transgression so enormous that it justified showing camera footage of the real Wembley fight with CM Punk weeks earlier, and launched the group into the stratosphere with the scapegoat at the forefront. He eventually became the TNT champion as an integral part of the story, but the lack of credibility in the foundation of the group, and realistically Perry's matches, lowered the status of the division below the numerous other mid-card titles at the company's disposal. The former Jungle Boy was a rule-proving exception in his biggest year yet. While there were too many wrestlers getting not enough time, he was getting too much time in place of too many other wrestlers. Number 8, Chris Jericho, April 21st, 2024 to August 25th, 2024. The FTW Championship being brought into All Elite Wrestling as a serious title to fight for was always stretching the gold beyond its original premise, but Chris Jericho getting hold of it in 2024 to allegedly help move Hook up to some mythical next level was a case of the idea completely eating itself. The cold-hearted handsome devil was the latest to get caught in the Jericho vortex. Not the gimmick kind, if the gimmick is even a gimmick because it's a shoot. Oh, my head hurts. But the fact that the entire story of Hook being robbed of the gold only to win it back at Wembley was one that had been done with Jack Perry a year prior seemed to have escaped Jericho's attention as he went through loads of the same motions. A series of themed weapons brawls on television did nothing to justify the spot both the champion and championship commanded over a miserable few months, before he predictably lost it back in a sequence of events he pretended was star-making. Does Hook feel like any more of a star after this feud? The answer, yes, is no. That made sense in my head. One only need to look at the retirement of the title in the immediate aftermath to see how ineffective it all was. Upon reclaiming the belt, Hook handed the strap to father and originator Taz, and back on the mantelpiece it went. Let's leave it there now, yeah? Number 7, The Young Bucks, April 21st, 2024 to October 30th, 2024. Yeah, a lot of these went down in 2024, didn't they? And there's more to come. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson have since explained that several different pitches didn't make air that might have made their 2024 run with the tag team gold more interesting. And it is worth caveating any criticism of this particular period with the reminder that they still had two of the best television matches of the year and delivered an immensely satisfying title change. But, and this is a big old but, expectations for the brothers are permanently set to sky high, and a run going so many days without a defense was bad form, even if it was in service of their new EVP's gimmick. The division felt like it was being discarded creatively, and with the Bucks atop the pile and only Sting's retirement match justifying finally consistently getting the belts in a pay-per-view main event, the criticisms grew louder. It at least ended on a high, but that too was somewhat transparent and extremely short-lived. The last couple of years have been ones to forget for the Elite, and few will share treasured memories of this title run to go alongside them. Number 6, Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky, January 26, 2022 to July 6, 2022. Time has been particularly unkind to it, but the feud between Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky was a major factor in the decline of the TNT Championship's prestige. What started with potential, especially considering both competitors' then untapped in-ring talent, quickly devolved into a series of forgettable moments and misguided booking decisions that tarnished the once promising title. Initially, the TNT Championship had a strong reputation, often featuring some of AEW's best performers in high-profile matches. It was a symbol of everything a thriving mid-card should be. But once Guevara and Sky entered the scene, well, the championship's credibility took a hit. Sammy's increasingly self-centered character and reckless booking, such as his inconsistent title defenses and reliance on shocking over-the-top angles, made the belt feel like a prop rather than a meaningful prize. And that's not what you want. Sky's involvement only compounded the issue. His character, which initially had promise as a serious contender, was muddled by unnecessary backstage drama and a lack of proper storytelling. Instead of elevating the title, the feud between the two became more about personal animosities and backstage politics than the actual championship. This shift in focus caused fans to lose interest in what was once AEW's most prestigious secondary title. And in the end, the Guevara-Sky feud didn't just fail to elevate either competitor, it diminished the very concept of the TNT Championship, leaving it feeling like an afterthought rather than a coveted prize. AEW desperately needs to refocus and rebuild the credibility of the TNT title if it hopes to restore the prestige it once had. Giving it to Adam Cole is not a bad start, baby. Just a quick one, if you're into this sort of AEW wrestling list and want more of this kind of stuff, then it's very simple. Just tap that subscribe button down below and you will get more. That's just what you do. Number 5, Private Party, October 30th, 2024 to January 22nd, 2025. Private Party's 2024 tag team title reign in AEW is so widely regarded as a dead rubber that it wasn't even a surprise when top heel group The Hurt Syndicate were received like heroes when they effortlessly dethroned them in an extended squash. Look, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn are talented performers with charisma and in-ring ability, but hopes of a strong reign were quickly dashed due to the total lack of significant title defenses and story developments while holding the gold. Over 3 months, they only defended the titles twice, at Full Gear in a chaotic 4-way match where their win felt more like luck than skill, and a milquetoast win against Lio Rush and Action Andretti that you probably can't even remember. This period was marked by a noticeable absence of narrative progression for both Private Party and the tag team division as a whole, which fans quickly picked up on and subsequently rejected in kind. Ultimately, the championship run did not leverage the potential to elevate the team or enrich the division's storylines. Instead, it just became a tragic footnote in AEW's history, remembered more for its shortcomings than any memorable achievements. It all felt like a bit of a waste of time, really. Number 4, CM Punk, May 29th, 2022 to August 24th, 2022. Few would have predicted it, and even fewer could have spotted it. But the eventual explosion of tension between CM Punk and AEW was bubbling under from before he won his first AEW championship. But things might have gone differently had the Second City Saint not jumped into the crowd on his first Dynamite as champion and broken his foot. Silly Phil. An immediate injury wrote him off television for the summer months, but the decision was made to keep him champion in order to do a bout with whoever claimed interim gold in his absence. That man was Jon Moxley, somebody then so deservedly beloved by audiences that the potential dream match between the pair became more of a political war than a kayfabe one. Moxley's squash win over Punk on television to set up their pay-per-view blow-off weeks later reeked of compromise and lack of communication, and the worst was still yet to come. Oh, but we'll get there. Number 3, the Death Riders, August 24th, 2024. Until they've still got the belts at time of recording, so I don't know. Furthering the idea that the division and titles are cursed, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac won the belts as a makeshift Blackpool Combat Club offshoot in the sunshine of Wembley Stadium in 2024, only to plunge them back into darkness when they all became part of a sludgy Jon Moxley takeover of All Elite Wrestling. Yes, they're credible wrestlers, but who isn't in 2025? Like, good wrestling is everywhere, across every product, televised and than otherwise, making a further mockery of the Moxley character shift based on how he supposedly wants to reshape the product. Why do you need to? There's good wrestling, it's fine. And even with title defenses, and there hasn't been many, the quality hasn't risen to such an extent that the hostage situation / vacuum effect created by their reign has solved the problem of dragging the gold back from irrelevance. This isn't the biggest crime the group have committed with the title though. Oh no. Number 2, Jon Moxley, October 12th, 2024 to... he still got it. At time of recording, something might have happened, oh I pray. A worst case scenario for the AEW Championship and the product writ large. Jon Moxley literally holding the belt hostage in a briefcase has come to symbolize a total loss of connection between the promotion's former conscience and what its core audience desperately wants to see. Muddle Creative reintroduced Moxley's character as a harbinger of doom for the roster, determined to take out the supposedly weak and fix a broken organization. Acknowledging that the show hadn't been all that good was the first misfire, because Mox, the heel, was ultimately speaking on behalf of a loud portion of the fanbase. Not very heelish. Then, when he took to attempting to murder various members of the roster in cartoonish ways, he broke one too many unwritten wrestling rules and flushed away his own credibility in the process. Ironically, 2025 has seen several encouraging creative signs of life for the distant challenger brand, but the main event picture, patrolled by the Death Riders, is almost universally derided as its Achilles heel. Mission accomplished then? And if so, then please let somebody else have and show off the belt to celebrate, please. I miss that beautiful shiny thing, and I will not miss whatever the hell this Death Rider spell has been. And number 1, CM Punk, September 4th, 2022 to September 7th, 2022. The best in the world was the worst for the world title picture in 2022, when mere minutes after winning it, he unleashed a now infamous verbal tirade on the state of the organization via brutal digs at the expense of the EVPs and anybody else that had wronged him. CM Punk's needle-moving ability was and is without compare in All Elite Wrestling, but the all-out press conference explosion was as damaging to business in the short term as it was long. A long-awaited rematch with MJF was as good as dead. Dream potential contests against Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were torched, and the relationship between the Second City Saint and the Challenger brand's core base was destroyed forever. The only natural outcomes were suspensions and title strippings, and that's what happened as early as the following Wednesday's Dynamite. It made for what's likely to be one of, if not the shortest reigns ever, whilst plunging the value of the belt and perception of the company's inner workings to an all-time low. Look in my eyes, what do you see? The worst title reign in AEW history. Yeah, it works. Now you're done with this interesting list, tap on another What Culture Wrestling video right here. 10 worst moments in AEW history. Yeah, that's quite the list. Maybe start there. Bye-bye.